Okay, that was unnecessary. Okay, today we're talking about Pixar's Coco. So Pixar's Coco is actually 4 years old now. And yeah, it was one of my more infamous videos I have made on the internet because I did like every movie that came out and every game. I don't know why. I was just doing that to troll people. I don't know why people took that stuff seriously, but today I actually watched the movie and now we're going to take the movie seriously. And not to say Coco is Illuminati and say the movie sucks based off no real thing and just saying it's rip off another movie that came out a couple years before it that has a few similarities to it whatsoever. So Coco is basically a movie that explores basically a kid's passions and the afterlife. Very and yeah, there's also a theory that when the characters die their final death, they go to the world of soul, which also is basically about the Pixar theory as well, which is basically a theory that all Pixar movies are connected. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about this theory first. We talk about the movie. Yeah, this theory basically is that when a character finds their final death, their soul basically goes to the soul. Well, and they actually put soul. They actually have soul down here. You got to go to the world of soul with the Ryan people, like the Jerry's and Terry's. I've not seen Soul, but I know the characters' names because I've seen so many clips of Soul. That I might have already basically seen the movie. I've seen all like the major clips of the movie. You might as well have seen the movie basically, most of the movie as well. And Soul, I think, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Coco and Soul are connected since both movies are about the same thing, the afterlife. But in Coco, the afterlife is basically felt different. Basically, a person who's dead, as long as they're remembered, they basically, can be with their relatives in spirit, which I actually believe that when someone dies, their spirit does hang around their relatives for a while, coming around and made events, events like Christmas, 4th of July celebrations, birthday parties, and stuff like that. I think that people in spirit do come around and stuff. And yeah, they do come around and they do watch you. Even if you're doing weird things, they're like that. So, not Spirit. Coco is a very amazing movie. I watched it. It was a pretty amazing movie. And basically, it's about this kid who wants to play music, and his idol is actually the villain of the movie. And yeah, it's a big twist in the movie. Yeah, he's actually the villain of the movie, and then he's pointed at the other guy who is actually his family member. Where basically he got poisoned and by Ernesto D. Cruz to prove his talent. And Miguel, of course, steals his guitar and goes to the land of the dead. And he has to get back to the land of the living before sunrise. And there are lots of emotional scenes in this movie, like that one guy, where they saw the final death. But at the end of the movie, basically, at the end of the movie, of course, his basically his family does not hate music anymore at the end of the movie because basically it has been proven that Ernesto de la Cruz was actually a bad person, and he's the reason why they banned music in the first place because he basically stole the other guy's music for his own career, which is pretty scummy of him. Kind of like, Tesla and, of course, uh, Thomas Edison. They call Tesla Thomas Edison. Some people think that Tesla actually did invent the light bulb, and Edison, of course, stole it from Tesla. But we're not going to go into that whole controversy right there. But basically, he also meets this guy named Hector, who in the movie turns out to be his real family. But I think most people who watch this video did see this movie already, or already seen a review of it. If you're looking for spoiler-free movies, this movie is on TV. You can just watch it on Disney Plus too. So you had lots of chances to watch this movie without spoilers. I already knew most of the plot of the movie too, because I watched spoiler reviews as well online over the times. But yeah, basically they embark on a journey to basically meet the story about his history and stuff, where turns out that he is one of his great great grandparents, and his music was, and it was assumed that he basically abandoned his family for his music, but he actually was killed by, of course, Ernesto de la Cruz because because he couldn't agree because he wanted to take over his music and sell it for himself, which at the end proved that he was a pretty scummy person and he needed to be stopped. And at the end, of course, we had the happy ending. You know, he was able to be remembered. He was able to be remembered. Hector was able to be remembered after Coco remembers him through his song, through Miguel singing his music, and basically his family reverses that hold old generations ban on music, basically because he was able, and then of course he brought him back so he could see, and at the end he was able to see Coco one last time, which was a very emotional scene in and of itself. So yep, there we go. So and yeah, the movie is actually based off her name, who is basically who's a very old lady who basically is there. And also, this movie also has an emphasis on other things like animals being spirit guides and stuff, and the dog Dante being a spirit guide as well. So that's basically about Coco. What score do I give it? I give it 9 elephants out of 10 elephants. Why elephants? Because I can't think of anything else. Goodbye.